Welcome to my renovated studio. My husband and I have worked really hard to create a space for me to be creative, to be inspired. And in the past, my studio, either these home studios that I've had or retail art studios that I owned, were all about having students in and being able to function with a teaching setup. And also I have always shown my work. So whether it was things in progress for going to Walt Disney World and showing there or showing at other art shows, my studio has always had to have places for all of that. Now, since I am mainly showing online and mainly doing pottery and some plant stain papers with it, I needed a studio that was really conducive to being efficient and effective and inspired. So this is it. I don't know how many times we have renovated, but this one really is making me happy. So I can't wait to create lots of fabulous things in here, both pottery and plant stain paper. So I want to go ahead and share the space with you. And I hope you get the same magical, creative vibe from it that I do. So here we are. The studio renovation is complete. And look at that shelving. All of these great shelves were built by my husband, courtesy of IKEA parts. Look at that. I have a painting station and computer station and all that in this corner. These desks I've had, all of that. That was my standing desk that I had at Walt Disney World that went with me to every residency that I did. It serves a great purpose for shipping right now. But this is my studio. And of course, we need to have the microwave right there for me to make popcorn because I'm not allowed to do that in the main house. Those cabinets are humongous, and those were a great find at IKEA probably maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. This whole place is pretty much IKEA except for the pottery equipment, of course. But what I found is that when I purchased the solid wood pieces from IKEA, which that table that you're looking at, that's a tall wedging table that I use it for wedging, that all the solid wood pieces are just phenomenal and they're workhorses. And then even this table is phenomenal as well. It has 2 leaves that are in it right now. And when I don't want the leaves in it, I can just store them underneath the tabletop itself. But look at this place. It is so much improved as far as being inspiring and just a delightful space to work because this is a converted 2-car garage, which you can see the rails from the garage door. I don't have windows, and that is something on the list, I guess, for the future is to actually put windows and a door in here. I don't know how I would fit it because obviously I love all my shelving, but that is really my only issue. The coolness in this Central Florida heat is a struggle, and my husband just put in a ceiling fan, which any of you who know about physics realize that that ceiling fan being below the other lights causes an issue. I'll have to film that too. It causes kind of this psychedelic issue of light. And so I can't use both the fan and those overhead lights at the same time. But when it gets too hot in here, I can turn those overhead lights off, use the fan with the light that is on it, even though that's not as bright, and then put on some of my other lights that I have around the studio to help that. I do have a air conditioning unit and a fan right there. And then I have
another fan right here that is tabletop. It's all kind of a little dusty, as you can see. But even so, when I run the kiln, I lose about 2 days in here. So I'm very strategic about running the kiln, not only because of electricity usage, but also my time. So it has to be, I have to make sure that it's cooling down when I know I'm not going to be in here working. And I try to work, I actually do work 7 days a week. And so the days that I cannot be in this studio are devoted more to my computer work. And I also have a filming studio in another room of the house. And so that is where I do a lot of my, I teach art journaling live every week from there, and I film any recorded classes in there. So I try to structure my scheduling so that I can have, so that I can be, you know, working, still working, even when this room is way too hot to be in. And so we painted, or I painted, the craziness on the wall when we bought the house and moved in, before anything else was in here. And that white piece is actually a door that I am hoping to modify with some raised details and use as a fairy door for some pictures and marketing and that kind of thing. And then this old art studio sign, that was the very first sign that I painted for my Art Blooms studio, my retail studio that I had in North Carolina. There was the window sign that went in the window, and that was before we actually hired a sign company to paint real professional signs. And I've always loved the look of that. So, so there we go. And so I now have sections for my plant stain paper, equipment, and pieces that I'm working on. I don't keep the finished journals out here. Those are in another area, displayed area. And I have my pottery pieces. There's a whole collection of blue porcelain that is out in the other area of the house waiting to get photographed, and that will go on those 2 shelves. I have pieces that are glazed and ready to be fired. They're just drying a little bit. And then the top 2 shelves are older pieces that I have created and need glazed, and I just haven't gotten to that yet. And then I have a section for pieces that are drying and waiting to be fired for bisque. My Bulga baskets are fabulous up there, and those hide, of course, some things, little messes. All my kiln posts, and those are in there, and the kiln shelves, of course. And then my throwing area is over here. So it is just really organized. It's fabulous to work in. It's inspiring. This little alcove over here has glazes. And I've got my purple refrigerator that holds my flowers that I need for plant staining. And then I did plant staining this weekend, actually, and so those are all drying. There's one of my signs from one of my art shows that's up there. And then a baker's rack just full of odds and ends, and it's just, that's my sign I put on my wash when I do my clothes so that nobody puts my clothes in the dryer. And it's just absolutely inspiring to work here. And I'm about to pick up about 800 pounds of clay tomorrow. So I thought, well, I need to go ahead and record before that clay comes in and takes up so much room. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed the tour. And that is the door to the main house. I hope you have a place that inspires you to work. It makes all the difference in the world, and I just always feel so lucky that I can wake up in the morning and roll in here and just start creating, and that's my job. So I hope that you have that amazing feeling for getting to work each day as well. Thanks. Check out my work at RachelleEason.com.